All right, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to the final presenter interview for today. Tomorrow, I'll be back with a whole new set of presenters who are going to be speaking at our annual conference for excellence in nonprofit management. But I am your host, in case you haven't caught any of the other interviews, I am your host, Trissetta Alexander, business productivity coach and strategic consultant to solopreneurs, small business owners, nonprofit organizations, and ministries. And today, this afternoon, I am sitting down with Desmond Crayton from Boys Town. Desmond, welcome.
Thanks a lot. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Late in the afternoon, but I appreciate you hanging in there with me today.
Oh, you're welcome.
Well, why don't you introduce yourself and tell everyone a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Okay, great. As was said, I'm Desmond Crayton. I'm a native of New Orleans, Louisiana, graduate of Dillard University, and my graduate is from the University of New Orleans. I've been working in nonprofit and childcare since 1992. That's a long time. And I started
27
managing,
years.
yeah, long time, long time. And I started managing in 1997. And I've had various different positions in three different states. I've been with Boys Town for most of my career. Currently, I'm the director of our family home program. And what we have a residential program here in Tallahassee in which we provide services for kids ages 10 to 17, where we afford them opportunity to live in a family style environment. These kids who are in the custody of the Department of Children and Family Services. And I am serve as the director of the program, which I oversee all five homes and all of the staff members who are part of our residential program.
Okay. What kind of things bring your students, your kids to you?
These kids who have been removed from their biological family for different reasons, physical abuse, sexual abuse, abandonment, neglect. So these kids have experienced trauma, a
Right.
lot of trauma. So they come in to our program, and our job is to provide that treatment and provide that family style environment which they probably was never been exposed to.
Okay. So you are going to be one of the panelists for our session on experiencing meaningful client experience, or excuse me, creating a meaningful client experience that is mission centered. Tell me a little bit about why this is important. Why is it so important for us to be mission centered in our client experiences?
Sometimes, when working with clients, we can get so involved into their day-to-day crisis, and sometimes we can lose that focus on our real purpose, the mission. So it's very important for supervisors and leaders to make sure that we're staying true to that mission. With in addition, we're staying true to that mission, ensuring that we provide the best quality of services to clients.
Mm.
So connecting that true experiences, with clients to what we're all about.
Yeah, I guess it's that essentially that concept of going a mile deep in a 1 inch space versus going a mile wide and 1 inch deep, right? Focusing on doing that one thing or those couple of things
Yeah.
really, really well and passing, allowing someone else to come in and handle the things that are outside of what we do. Otherwise, we could end up spreading ourselves too thin and being ineffective.
Yes. Yes. Because your mission is what sets you apart from everyone else.
Right,
And people need to know exactly, your mission and what you're about. And that's how they identify you. That's how they know who you are based upon your mission.
right. It's essentially kind of your secret sauce, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
How common is mission drift?
It can be very common if you don't have any safeguards to protect and to monitor the mission. Again, we can get so involved with different contractual agreements, requirements. This grant is requiring you to do certain things, and these folks are requiring you to do certain things, and sometimes it can make you drift from your purpose.
Right.
So it happens, and if you're not constantly reviewing your mission, and having that really quality management council to oversee your day-to-day activities and ensuring that you're following the mission, it can drift. So it's important for leaders to make sure that, we are the objective ones where we can see the bigger picture and
Right.
safeguard that mission and purpose.
What are some, in your opinion, what are some of the ways that we as leaders of organizations can keep our mission at the center of what we do? How do we kind of help bring that back to focus?
Some small things, one thing is having a mission at the bottom of your emails. So when you're sending out emails that, to your staff, that mission is right there. Reviewing that mission in your staff meetings, when you have that monthly communications and you guys discussing your missions. And also when developing goals, make sure that the goals that you're developing for your agency or your organization is connected to your mission. And getting your folks involved, getting your people that you manage involved in setting those goals. And these are ways that we could ensure that we're not drifting, that everyone is a part of that common goal.
I just thought about something because you were talking about contracts. One of the big things that, or I should say, one of the big challenges of a nonprofit running a nonprofit organization is funding, right? So we
Yes.
we are continually seeking funding opportunities to make sure that we can continue to provide the services that we do provide. And I think you're bringing up a really good point in how sometimes because we need the funding, we'll go after dollars that aren't really the best fit for us simply because we need money. And so that particular contract or that particular grant then pulls us out of our niche or the specifics of what we do.
Yeah. It takes you away from your expertise. If your expertise is in one certain area and you're, reaching out for a grant for funding for something totally different, and that's not your expertise, it can really sabotage that funding, to be honest, because if they're expecting you to provide certain services and your mission is over here focusing on something else, it can be a challenge, and it can confuse a whole lot of people that's a part of your organization.
That's a really good point too, is that you can almost set yourself up for
The
failure
failure. Yeah.
if you're
Yeah.
if you're not really closely monitoring
Yeah.
that. That's
And we, over the years, we have had different opportunities for different contracts and grants, but we have to make sure, does it fit with our mission? Is this what we're about? Because your mission is your label. It's your label. It's who you are. And you have to do everything you can to safeguard that mission. And just taking, going after grant money that's not fitting to your mission, you're pretty much setting yourself up for failure.
yeah. So let's bring it back to the end user, that the client,
Yeah.
right? Because the panel that you're going to be on is about creating that meaningful client experience that's still connected to your mission. That's really that where your mission is still the central element. So, what are some of the elements, or what are some of the things that you can do to make sure that you are creating that meaningful, like the key word there being meaningful client experience that really stays true to who you are?
We have 5 programs here at Boys Town, and all of them are the same mission, and it
Mhm.
looks different. That client experience looks different, but the common theme is the quality of services that we do provide. In each program, you're going to see that quality there, and you're going to see the aspects of our model. So, a few things that we do when we get kids that first come into our program. Again, these kids who have been removed from their home and may have never experienced living in a family style environment. So the first time the child comes into our program, what we do that's unique to get the kid involved is that basically we'll provide the meal that your child wants. If that's going to their restaurant, their favorite restaurant, we'll bring them there. If it's a certain meal that they like, we'll make sure we provide that for them. We celebrate their birthdays. We look at cultural things. Culturally, what are some things that you guys done on holidays to incorporate that? So we try our best to make the child feel at home away from home and have a better experience than what they've experienced before.
I
And
love that. So you
yeah,
customize the experience
yeah,
to the child. So it's not about, while there is some standardization that needs to take place so that we can make sure that we're hitting our objectives and whatnot, but you're not afraid to shift outside of that, or enhance, I guess is a
Correct.
better word to say that, to enhance your standardized processes to ensure that each individual client feels like an individual, that they're not just being treated like every single other person that is within your services.
In a couple of our programs, one of our community-based programs we have is a diversion program. And what happens is that, these are families who have had a call to the hotline, an abuse hotline. And our job is to go in there and to prevent the kids from being removed. And during that whole experience, it can be very difficult for parents, very, very difficult, especially for an outsider to come in.
Yeah.
And what we do is come in and let them know that we're there for support. Our job is to be able to provide a support for you guys, but also empower you by giving you guys the skills that you guys need to be successful. So it looks totally, totally different in each program. But again, it goes back to the quality of service and sticking to our mission, who we are.
Yeah, absolutely. What is one thing that you really hope that conference attendees walk away from this panel discussion with? What, like some sort of nugget that they can take and then, create some sort of action around?
I think if I'm coming to it as a leader, there's two things that I would like for folks to be able to understand.
Okay.
One thing, true leadership, you must have a vision. Second, you have to be passionate about people who you supervise. And I think sometimes, those two things can kind of drift away because we think managing is just basically telling people what to do. That's only a small part. You have to have that passion of want to help people in order to be an effective leader. So hopefully, those two things will be taken, that individuals can be able to take with them as they continue to develop in leadership.
Yeah. What I heard when you said that is basically our staff are our clients as well.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
simply put. Well, Desmond, thank you so much for joining me. For those of you who have not yet registered for the conference, doors do close on Monday, August 17th at midnight. So please go ahead and click the link that I've included in the post description. Head right on over there and register today. We want to see you in the virtual room next week, August 19th and 20th, for the 2020 Conference for Excellence in Nonprofit Management and Leadership. Desmond, again, thank you so much for joining me. It has been
You're
a
welcome.
pleasure chatting with you and learning a little bit more about Boys Town and what Boys Town does.
Great, great, perfect. I'll see you on then.
All right, I'll see you then. Have a
Bye.
great one, everyone, and I will be right back tomorrow morning with the next interview with John Brown. Have a great afternoon.